Thank you, Robin. Thank you so much. Life and living on purpose. I'll take that for a moment. Thank you. I've said there's a lovely prayer that I love to pray. Now, gentle Spirit, take my lips and speak through them. Take my mind and think through it. Take my heart and set it on fire for good. Amen. That's all you need to know about finding your purpose, finding your peace, finding your love, finding your relationship. Take my heart and set it on fire. So here we are on this sacred morning, Palm Sunday. And as we all know, that Palm Sunday symbolizes the entry into Jerusalem that Jesus made more than 2,000 years ago, or almost 2,000 years ago. So we are honoring this significance today. I want to just say that, here at Unity and many other New Thought spiritualities, whether people call themselves progressive Christians, progressive spiritualists. There are many, many names for the different types of teachings that many people have today, and they recognize that perhaps we don't want to take the Bible literally, that it was always meant when it was put together and written, both the Hebrew scriptures and the Christian scriptures were meant to be used symbolically and metaphorically, and they were written as stories. They were never intended to be taken so literally. I believe it was Yogananda that said that Jesus was crucified once, but his teachings are crucified over and over and over again. So this morning I'm going to talk a little bit about what Jesus considered his purpose to be and the words he gave us for finding our own purpose. So who was Jesus? There is a big difference of meaning between the names Jesus and Christ. His name, this man, his given name was Jesus or Jeshua. It depends on what language you are reading in. And then his honorific title was Christ. And in the human body called Jesus, this man was born the vast Christ consciousness, this omniscient wisdom of God, omnipresent in every part and particle of creation. This consciousness is what we consider the only begotten Son of God. And it was of that infinite consciousness, replete with the love and the bliss of God, that St. John spoke when he said, "As many as received him," and in parentheses, the Christ consciousness, that's what we're receiving, "to them gave he the power to become the children of God." So according to Jesus' own teachings as recorded by this apostle John, all people who become united with the Christ consciousness are rightly called the children of God. So if we make God our partner, we will find everything we need. We'll find our purpose. We'll find our spiritual path. We will find healing. Every single thing we need, we will find. And from Romans, they said, all things work together for good to them that love God. Oh, so for this man, this Jesus, by his life, he showed us in those final days before and during the crucifixion that nothing on earth was worth losing our peace over. That's worth knowing, isn't it? He demonstrated that. He never lost his peace. He was betrayed by one of his best friends, publicly humiliated, beaten, spit upon, and finally crucified. Through it all, he held his peace. He even forgave. He said, they know not what they do. And how we interpret that today, right here, right now, the way I would tell you how we can use that is we forgive quickly, and if someone says something to us, try not to be offended by it. If it's something offensive, don't let anybody abuse you, but forgive quickly, let go, release, because they know not what they do. And why is that? Because, as he knew, they were not serving God, but they were serving their fear, and they were serving human aspirations of power. You can never win if you're serving human aspirations of power or fear. We need to serve the higher good. And this morning, too, I would just remind all of us and our visitors, too, that God, that's a name that we use. It's a word we use because we're familiar with it. But you might be more comfortable with using Creator, the Source, all that is, the River of Life, whatever works for you. I just continue to use that name because we know that's what it is. It is the all-powerful, omniscient good that's in the universe. So going ahead, talking about finding our purpose, Jesus certainly knew his purpose. He said, for this I was born. For this I was born. He rode a humble donkey into Jerusalem. Why? He did it because he had read the scriptures too, and they prophesied in Isaiah that the new king would come on a donkey. You see, they read those prophecies too, but it was humble because Caesar was coming in with all of his crew from the other side of town. And he had everything that represented royalty that you could have. So the symbolism here is that Jesus was teaching humility. So by saying this, for this I was born, he suggests there is a rhythm to life, a certainty that what we seek seeks us. When we understand our place in the great mystery. And for a more recent quote, Paulo Coelho said, when you want something, the whole universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Yeah. That sounds like the law of attraction, and the law of attraction is right too. It works. And why does it work? Because what you truly, truly, truly believe in, your good, is going to come to you. And sometimes it may not look like what you thought it would, but truly your good will. And the thing is, too, when we keep God as our focus, the highest good will come to us. It will bring us to our highest good. And another quote by Anthony de Mello, a priest in the Catholic order, said the river to the seeker, "Does one really have to fret about enlightenment? No matter which way I turn, I'm homeward bound." How about you? Sometimes I think we get all messed up worrying about, am I living my purpose? Am I doing this, that, or the other, and following the correct path? Oh my, we can worry ourselves over that, can't we? We certainly can. The interesting thing is that usually by midlife, it takes us till midlife when we usually start asking all these questions. And the reason is we've been busy earlier in our lives. We've been busy going to school, or we've been raising children. We've had a really busy job. We've had busy lives that have kept us from knowing what our spiritual purpose is. And we might wonder about all those who were born with their talents. They knew from an early age what their talents were: musicians, artists of all types, orators, writers. And we'll think, oh my goodness, I wish I were like you, and could have known earlier in my life what my true purpose was. But you know that you were living it all along, and you could not get off course. Did you know that? No matter which way you turn, you're homeward bound. Isn't that wonderful? Whatever mistake you made, or you thought it was a mistake, it looked like a mistake, but it wasn't. You had a North Star out there somewhere that was guiding you all the time. And if you were in an unhappy relationship, that was God, that was your soul, that was Spirit saying, keep moving onward. And whatever direction you're going, you're homeward bound. Moving water. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. When actions come from another section, that feeling disappears. We all know that feeling, don't we? When we're doing something that's painful and we just need to move on. We need to move on from that. Don't let others lead you. They may be blind, or worse, they may be vultures. This is a poem by Rumi. Reach for the rope of God. And what is that? Putting aside self-will. And what is self-will? Well, that's the smaller will. That's the human self. That's the human self I spoke of a little earlier about those who would crucify that person, Jesus. They were listening to their fears and the wrong gods. They were listening to the gods on earth and those that would be in power. And we know that our true self is guided by God, the higher self. And so on this spiritual path, we begin to seek God, striving to put God first in our consciousness. And eventually we'll find a sense of fulfillment. We need to go through a certain number of trials, just as Jesus did, to let go of ego. We'll finally let go of that, the little self. But since we are practical here and we like to teach practical steps towards spirituality, I want to just give you a few practical ones this morning for finding your purpose, your place in life. Everyone has an inner GPS. It's that wise inner voice that talks to you. When you have a strong desire, it's coming from a deeper level, kind of like a longing. It's seeking you. And in order to hear that, we need to be quiet and listen to hear the inner voice. Number 2, follow your joy. Let joy be your compass. Does this bring me more joy or does this bring me more pain? We need to use that as our compass, our North Star, joy. When you experience joy or passion, that's always a sign that you're aligned with your purpose. And if you are having a hard time finding joy, I would ask you to just take a list or a piece of paper and list 20 things, if you would, that make you feel joyful or happy. If you can't think of 20, think of 10. And if you can't come up with 10, come up with 5. And if you can't come up with 5, call Roger, because he can give you a 100 of his own and ways of enthusiasm. Right, Roger? Yep. Everything can bring us joy. Pay attention to your signs. When you're on track with seeking the things that seek you, the universe will send you signs every day. Look for them. Look for them. And the interesting thing is that, we all move so quickly and much more quickly than is natural for us. And so when we're speeding through life, whether it's speed reading, speed singing, we were just talking about that this morning. Charles was saying that sometimes when he's into his music, he'll notice he gets faster and faster and faster, and he finally says, "Slow down, man." Thank you for that tip. And that's helpful when we're speeding through life and speeding through everything we're doing. And I know I need that tip too, because my husband and I are very similar in certain ways. We're very different in most ways, but we're very similar in some ways. And that is that we're both very prompt. As a matter of fact, we'll agree to go someplace, and the next thing I know, before I even have my change clothes, Dan's standing at the door tapping his foot, waiting for me. And our daughter Sherry said, well, Mom, you're pretty good at getting ready and being there in just a few minutes too. So we have that in common. If we're going to do something, we're getting ready to do it. You won't find yourself waiting for either of us. I'll guarantee you, whatever it is. But we need to slow down too and remind ourselves that it's not about speed. We need to be enjoying this journey that we're on. And whenever we see someone with road rage or speeding out there on the road, we just need to, instead of cursing them, we need to pray for them, because they're following the wrong path. They're following the wrong star. We just need to pray for them. As Jesus says, they know not what they do. And then number 4, so it was listen to your inner voice, follow your joy, pay attention to the signs. Number 4, trust the process. Trust the process, that your good is coming to you Sometimes you must go through obstacles, but when you start believing and trusting, then your good can find you. Why? Because your heart is aligned with good. You're already in the river of life. You're in harmony. And your good can find you there. And when you're in fear and worry, you are not aligned with the natural rhythm of life. Number 5, clear the blocks. If you feel like you're seeking your purpose in every way, things still aren't flowing, sit down and examine what might be blocking you. What are you not releasing and letting go? Maybe something or someone you're holding on to, or some resentment. Let it go. From an energy point of view, you're blocking the thing off instead of letting it in. And very importantly, number 6, don't worry. Don't worry about how this is going to come about. Align yourself with God. Align yourself with that God presence. And from that age-old saying that Rumi teaches us, to trust the universe. What you seek is seeking you. And Rumi, he quoted Jesus often. Did you know that? He was a Sufi, and the Sufis came from the teachings of Jesus, the Muslim teachings. And Rumi taught Jesus' teachings. He was a 13th century poet. What you seek is seeking you. Live by that principle. Listen to your intuition. Know that it will not lead you astray. And Mark Twain said there are 2 great days in a person's life: the day we're born and the day we discover why. One's easy. The other may take a lifetime. And it's most likely not a literal date at all. It takes us a while, doesn't it? I know I was in my early 40s when I had those stirrings, those really big stirrings. They'd always been there, but I'd been too busy with my family, with my job, with all the things I'd been doing. And that's when I really had those stirrings and wanting to know. I want to know you, God. I want a relationship. I want to understand Jesus. I've told you before, I didn't understand the teachings that I heard in the church when I was growing up. That didn't make sense to me. A lot of that wasn't even love. And they were saying that Jesus said this. This is how I said earlier. How many years have Jesus' words been crucified? Over and over and over again. When the love that he offered was just to say, this is why I was born. What is yours will come to you. So you know if you're a light worker, if you're here this morning, you're a light worker. You may not have been aware of your creative abilities when you were born, but here's the secret to knowing. Ask. God, I would know you. I would ask to know why I'm here. I would ask to know how I might use my gifts. I would ask to know what is my purpose in life. Show me what to eliminate from my life so that I may follow the good. So as I said earlier, I repeat, it was in that infinite consciousness, the love and bliss of God, that St. John spoke. As many as received the Christ consciousness, to him he gave the power. All you need to do is ask, what is my purpose? and then make your main purpose in life, your main goal in life, to serve God only. Make everything else secondary. I want to serve the highest good. Use my words to serve only the highest good, never to hurt anyone. Use my heart to serve only the highest good. And you may never know the gentle, kind words that you spoke to someone, what that meant to them. You'll never know. But keep doing it. Keep on. And the truth is, we have plenty of ball players, don't we? We may have plenty of musicians, plenty of everything. You don't need to do that. You don't need to serve in a huge way. If that's your path and you know it is, then you serve with that talent, whatever. If you have an art, music, whatever way. But I would just tell you the secret right now. And it's the secret to every single thing you could ever want. And that is using the language you want. Use my heart to serve. Make my purpose God, Spirit, loving Creator, Source, to serve only the highest and the best. That's my intention today. I will remind myself of that many times today, tomorrow, and the day after. So make God your partner in all that you do. Make finding Christ consciousness in this lifetime your priority. Your purpose will be revealed to you. It is that simple. Simple, yes. Easy, no. As all of us know that have been down the path for a while. It is simple, not always easy, but we'll always have a light to guide us, and we'll always know. So I just hope that you will have a blessed and sacred experience in this holiest of weeks. Claim it as your own. Be at peace and trust God. Thank you for your time.